Give us an example where maybe most contact centers have this as a best practice, but it's working against them, where there's something that's broken that shouldn't be happening. Is there an example you can think of that would accentuate the point?
There's so many examples. Quality assurance is always an area that I'm very passionate about, and it's been going through a lot of change. It's also been going through a lot of change driven by technology, but the fundamental, what is the point of this function? We don't often take that moment to step back and ask that question. So the whole point of quality, there's a few different points originally. Again, as I mentioned, manufacturing defect is a defect audit really in the beginning. But most leaders of today would say, no, quality is meant to ensure that we're providing a great experience. But then when you break it down into the practices that happen and the kinds of things in scorecards, must say the customer's name 3 times or 2 times, must use an empathy statement. And what is an empathy statement? Here's 3 examples. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Let me look into that for you. I'll take care of this for you. That's terrible. And that's not a bad thing to say, perhaps. But as an employee, if I can't assess the person I'm talking to, some people hate when you say I'm sorry, as an example. Some people need you to say I'm sorry. Some people hate when you use their name. You sound like a car salesman. Other people, it makes them feel really special. So hiring really great EQ agents, which again is changing the script of we can train anybody to do this because we can't. Hiring great EQ agents, focusing on the clear objective of we want to have great outcomes, great customer experience outcomes. How you do that has some variability and some decision making. A quality program that focuses on outcomes versus the steps you took. So yes, if the outcome was poor, we can talk about, hey, I think you could have used their name a few more times. But if that's the criteria, then what happened, and it is in the majority of contact centers today, what happens is the agent talks to the form and not to the customer. And we all experience that. All of us do. We call a call center. And I'll give you an example. I call a call center. They say, hey, thanks for calling such and such bank. How can I make your day better? I'm like, oh, that's lovely. I call 3 more times. Thanks for calling such and such bank. How can I make your day better? It becomes a little bit insincere at that point, inauthentic. And then I say, listen, the website is always a little bit out of sync. I know. I just wanted to find out what the balance was. Oh, I'm so terribly sorry about that. I'm not really terribly sorry about that. I'm not really upset or stressed or nervous about it. I just checking in on something. Oh, don't worry, sir. We'll take care of this for you right away. I can imagine how frustrating that would be. I'm like, I'm not really frustrated. I'm just checking my balance. If you could just give me what my balance is. But I know what they're doing, and they're reading to the form. And they're reading to the form because that form will have a heavily weighted impact on their scorecard. That form may have on the plus side, a trip to Mexico for the top person in the year. On the downside, if you don't make a certain score 2 or 3 times, you don't have a job anymore. Either way, the agent's focus is the form and not the customer. And that best practice and those kinds of criteria take our agents out of the mindset of the person they're talking to, this other human on the other end of the line. And instead, how do I get this criteria to get my scorecard, to get my bonus, and to not get fired? So that's just like one example, but there's so many. Like, that's the thing about how contact centers have been run. People will say, no, but I have a quality scorecard. Yeah, no, I'm checking for empathy statements. I'm doing every best practice. Great. But if you stop thinking about what is the point and then challenge that and maybe try to reimagine that in a different way, in a way that no one's doing potentially, because no one has all the answers. A lot of these practices are broken. People need to experiment more and try things out more and just stay laser focused on great customer experience, human being, great employee experience, human being. All the rest is just information, not goals. That's where the problems start to happen.